What is up, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with a huge haul video. Not in my normal place, but as you probably know, if you're following me over on the Instagram, and if you're not, go ahead and do that so you won't be left in the dark. But as you probably already know, I am in Huntsville, Alabama. I guess that's how they say it here. But anyhow, I'm in Huntsville, Alabama, and going to the Huntsville Comic Expo. That's happening tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. Captain Comics already in the house, wishing a happy birthday. What is up, Captain Comics? Soon to be your birthday. I'm sure it's the 30th and holding, maybe. So going to that, but I came into town early with the intent of hitting up some more long boxes. You're going to a huge con. Don't know. It might be the largest con of this year. Who knows? It was last year. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully there's bigger cons to come. But as of right now, it's the largest comic con that I'm going to. And what do? You go hit up a bunch of other shops and spend a bunch of money. And that's what I did today. So bright and early, if you were following me on Instagram, went live this morning as I sat outside the comic book shop to wait for it to open. And yeah, hit multiple shops along the day. And we've got Flash by Night. What is going on, man? How are you? Zuni, what is up? What is up? So here we go. Let's start with a little new comic book day. Went by the LCS, stopping on the way here yesterday. Picked up only a few, really, but picked up some goodies. Picked up the Walking Dead Deluxe number 12, the David Finch cover. Got the next Batman Second Son. I went back and forth whether I wanted this one or the other cover, and I just went with this cover. It was nice to know. Picked up Batman 107, the funky Cole Matina cover, as Bueller would say. Come on, mama, what is up? Hey, come on, mama, listen to this. So Michael Golden is supposed to be at this con, and plan on seeing him tomorrow, taking care of the sketch covers that I plan on doing first. That way I can kind of get it ahead in line. And Michael Golden, of course, first drew Rogue. And don't want to do like the short hair Rogue. I want to go with more of the animated feel for Rogue, but wanted to do a Wolverine homage cover with Wolverine, how he holds the thing, and have Rogue with her glove off. And she can kind of hold her glove in this hand and do like that. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Felix, what is up? Also picked up this Batman 107. Really like the way they redesigned the Scarecrow there. It's supposed to be a bunch of new first appearances. And so, yeah, we'll see. Time will tell whether or not these first appearances will matter or not. And if I do get him to do it, the last time I went to an con, Michael Golden was there. He had already booked up. By the time I got to his table, he'd already booked up. So I'm going to hit him up first and Rags Morales to get a sketch done by him. But we'll see. We'll see. Transformers 84. Haven't been reading Transformers in the IDW run. But this was too cool to pass up. It was a 100-page giant. Different art styles in there. I got the classic battle between Optimus Prime and Megatron. I picked up the Immortal Hulk. This is the Joe Bennett homage. He's been doing some really cool homages to earlier Incredible Hulk stuff. Star Wars The High Republic number 4. Also been picking up these Alex Ross covers. Been kind of going back and picking them up because I came late to the game. But that's Immortal Hulk 45 as well. Firepower number 10. I know Legion was not a big Legion of Comics, that is, the newest member to the channel. And talking about that, how is that for a segue? So down below, you will see a join button if you're not watching on a mobile device. And you can join the channel. You can see the perks that are available to you there. But Legion of Comics is the newest member. But the last Firepower, he was not a huge fan of. Noctera, number 2. Heard good things for some people that read this already. I have not, so definitely is on the read list. This is the A cover, I believe, Tony Daniels. Freaky Louie, what is up? Ross is a boss. Man, you rhyming all the time. Dropping those rhymes on the dimes. Star Wars, The High Republic Adventures. I wasn't really impressed with like the first two of these. Yeah, I like the first Noctera too, so I'm hoping that's something good. Looking forward to C2E2. Yeah, they're pushing these back. I know that San Diego Comic Con was pushed to Thanksgiving week. And you kind of wonder, did they do that in hopes that people would just say, well, I'm not interested. Oh, darn, we tried to have one. I don't know. Maybe I'm too cynical. But wasn't really impressed with the first two, but picked it up, this Yoda cover here. They've been pretty popular. If I get tired of it, I'll just drop it and start selling it. Also, on my way over yesterday, stopped at a GameStop and picked up a 10 mystery box, which that video is going to drop separately. But I also picked up this Robin, the Damian, I was going to say Damian Wayne. Damian Wayne. I was thinking like wines. Anyway, Damian Wayne, been trying to pick up all of the Bat family. And so he was obviously one of them. Picked up that. Also, let's start where I started out this morning. So started out this morning going to the Deep. The Deep is probably the largest. It's the largest comic shop in Huntsville, Alabama. Damien's the best Robin. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's debatable. So went to the Deep as soon as they opened up. Last time I was here, I ran out of time to get to all the loan boxes. They have multiple loan boxes full of dollar comics, and found a bunch of goodies there. Like some of my rarer Valiant / Acclaim titles, they're scarce, but they're not wanted by the collector market, so therefore they don't have the price, right? So, supply and demand works. So the supply is low, but the demand's low. So, the price is low, and it really doesn't pay to do a bunch of shipping. So you got to just kind of dig and find them in the loan boxes. Plus, that makes it all the more interesting when you finally get around to do them. I found a bunch of them last time I was here, but I didn't get through all the loan boxes. So hit those up, picked up where I left off, and got a bunch of goodies. So I was told by Justin from No Good Comics, also Legion of Comics, and John's Comics with Kids, that I needed to get into some Swamp Thing. That even though my point of reference for Swamp Thing is the old cheesy TV show and cartoon, remember back in the day they had a toy line even, that's kind of this is a new guy, and you can kind of get on and not be lost. I believe this is a Funky Cole Matina cover. This is number 1 of Swamp Thing. So pretty nice. Gonna check it out. Check out this cat variant for Ninjak number 22. Valiant did the homage to the Marvel 25th anniversary covers, and all the characters were cats. So they had a real live cat dressed up in the various forms, and then of course the cartoon cats on the side, as you can see here. There's the Eternal Warrior cat. There's one of the hardcore. There's the ninja, so on and so forth. So pretty dope. So I got some of this stuff I just bought to sell, so I'm not going to worry about going through it. Got Union number 4. Never was big into Union. I got the first cover, if you remember, it's one of the shiny foil covers from the 90s, and a Mark Texeira cover. But this is the reason why I got this one. This is Union number 4, and it is a Barry Windsor Smith cover. So Barry Windsor Smith goodness for 50 cents. 50 cents. Today must have been the day for Giant Size X-Men homages. I like me some homages to covers that I collect, and found some totally offbeat ones with regular size instead of giant size. Packed. This is Image Comics number 3, and you can see there's Invincible, there's Shadowhawk, and I'm not familiar with the other ones. Fire Breather and Noble Cause must be. I'm telling you, Freaky Louie. Now, I'll grant you that I did not find any old Turtles goodness like you did the other day, but I will say that I did find me some goodies. Also picked up this Psylords number 1 chromium wraparound goodness. Got The Good Guys number 7, and this is from Defiant Comics. And for those of you who don't know, Defiant Comics was the company that Jim Shooter started after he was ousted from Valiant. So I kind of count Defiant and then Broadway Comics that came later, kind of half brother and sister maybe to Valiant. Same thing with Gold Key. So I collect the Gold Key, Solar, Magnus, and Turok titles because as they relate to Valiant. Also pick up the Defiant and Broadway because they kind of related to Valiant, but not really, right? But ironically enough, Jim Shooter is going to be here. I've got plenty for him to sign, so we're not going to get him to sign any of these. But so these are some of those that I was mentioning earlier. Don't just find them all the time. I have but that's of the titles that I need, especially after today's finds. So we've got War Dancer number 4. And of course, back in the day, had all the merch that you could get as well. We got War Dancer number 3. We've got, let's see, Shadow State number, these are always afflicted. This is a later issue of Shadow State. This is Broadway Comics. This is the last company that Jim Shooter started before, I guess, he basically hung it up. I mean, he's written some stuff. He wrote some of the Solar titles for Dark Horse when Dark Horse had that license and property, but he hasn't really done all that much since that time. I keep throwing some on the wrong pile. Powers That Be. This is another one of those Broadway comics. Then we've got Nighthawk number 1. This is by Neil Adams. So Windjammer right here. So when Acclaim bought Valiant, the Acclaim titles, Valiant became the Acclaim titles. And so then they had some offshoot, and Windjammer was one of them. And so Windjammer was the creator-owned stuff. So Neil Adams owns, Nighthawk, I'm assuming still, because that's why they imprinted it into Windjammer as opposed to Valiant, keeping them separate for some reason. Powers That Be from Broadway Comics right there. And then Powers That Be number 1. This was another title that I was recommended highly. Stray Dogs number 2. Look at that poor little poochie. But somebody mentioned that it was like 101 Dalmatians except like horror or mystery, murder mystery. So I said, well, that sounds kind of interesting. So decided to pick it up. Also, I'd seen the number 1s that had a lot of the movie poster homages like Pet Sematary and such like that. Unfortunately, I was not able to secure a number 1 today. However, the week is still young. I still got a comic expo to go to. The Silver Coin was another title that was recommended to me, so I picked that up. Decided to pick up this Geiger. So the premise is interesting, vaguely familiar, right? Heard mixed reviews on it. We'll see how it goes. But this is kind of a throwback cover. Got several, as you can imagine. I was looking to see who the Artist was. Yeah. So this is the Eric Larson cover. Then I got the Beta Ray Bill, the Stegman variant. Now, I found a treasure trove of Batman books. As you might be aware, I am trying to complete my Batman 200 run. Before today, I only needed 19 to complete that run. 19. So let's see how many I got today. So we've got Batman 260. 100 pages for only 60 cents. Your future is in the cards, Batman, and the last one will kill you. Yes, the Joker. Then we've got a number 257. Uh, 255. 254. 242. We got 239. We got Santa Batman, delivering help to the little kid who doesn't have nothing under a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Aw, ain't Batman a great guy? Then we've got number 238. Yes, Bronze Age Batman goodness right here. So we got, like I said, 238. 224. Now this one's in pretty good condition right here. Paid a little more than I really wanted to for it, but we've got 223. 25-cent goodie. We've got 214. So Batman, unfair to marriage. Down with bachelors, up with husbands. Batman, unfair to Batgirl. Make love matches, not war. Batman must marry. Pared down with singles. Batman's feeling a little pressure to tie the knot. As you know, it never worked. He's still in it. All these money later. What is going on? Adrian Panda Awesome. What is up with you? Then we've got Batman 217. And he tells Alfred that he's closing the Batcave forever. Obviously, this is, in today's terms, clickbaity because Batman is still at it all these years later. Just had a birthday. We've got Batman 218. That's right. That's right. So just with those books, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. I got 11 Batmans. Only needed 19. 8 more. 8 more. Did I get any more? So that's 8 that I picked up from the deep. Did I get any more? So picked up a bunch of boards and bags. As you can imagine, I'm going to need them. And let's see what else we got right here. Right here. I was trying to keep the stacks separate between the various stores. Nick's Kicks and Comics up in the house. So the Deep, for those of you who don't know, Rockin' Robbie Billups from Pop Culture Philosophers works there. So he was not there today. They were setting up over at the Expo, which is not that far from the Deep. And I'm in the hotel that's connected to the Expo. So I just walk over across the bridge and walk down, and I'm good. Legal Burning, what is going on? How are you? We've got Sliders Ultimatum #2. One of those unique, if you remember Sliders TV show back in the day, that's what this was based on. But this is from Acclaim Comics. Sliders Special Deadly Secrets. Then we've got Fanboy #5. Oh, look, an homage to a book that I will never own. At least I can have this one. Futurama Comics, number 8. So nice little giant size X-Men homage. You remember me saying something about that earlier. And it's also one of the, look, CIC intergalactic grade. So it's kind of a CGC deal, which Valiant did a lot of those also. So that's interesting. Got, let's see here. We got Wildcats Trilogy, number 1. Jay Lee, shiny foil goodness. Shiny foil. 11.5. You noticed that too, right? These are a bunch of stuff that I thought some other people might like. So I'm not keeping them. So I'm going to breeze through all of those. Patrick Wall, what's shaking? Pick some Labyrinth movie comics from the 80s while you're there. I'll probably see some. Now, don't know if I'm going to keep this because I think I already have a copy, but this is Superman 75. Obviously, when Superman died, classic cover now. But you'll notice something about this version of it. This is the 4th printing and also a newsstand. So this is, one of the rarer versions of that. Instead of 1 billion, there's only 300,000 of them, right? Wolverine 87. So this is from, if you count the miniseries, this is from volume 3. Comics on the Mind, and you're here because you got Comics on the Mind. That's right. Kurt, what's up? Yeah, 4 print. I think I've already got one. I think I bought it off of YouTube auction. I'm going to have to check it out before I sell it. If I don't have it, I'm going to sell it. Or if I have it, I'm going to sell it. Eternal Warrior number 1. This is the sketchbook. Of course, might recognize that artistry. This is Clayton Crane goodness. And it was funny that I seen this book today because I was just thinking, I don't even remember why I was thinking about this book. I seen it somewhere, I guess. I said, I need to pick that up just because it's a Rogue and Gambit cover. Come on, Mama, if you're still here, check out that. The Southern Belle herself. And this is Marvel UK Comics, number 1, Death's Head, part 2. And it is a wraparound cover. But back in the 90s when Marvel was trying to push these characters, none of them really ever took off. I think they scratched Death Heads 2 eventually and went back to Death's Head number 1. No matter how many superstars they placed in here, like the X-Men and everybody else, just really never seemed to take off there. So hopefully everybody's doing fantastic on this Thursday afternoon. Got out to the LCS, picked you up some good comics, and new to you comics, whatever. And then we've got Supreme number 1. Now, for those of you who know, you know that there's a little something different about this version of Supreme. That's right. This is a newsstand. You can't see it because this sticker is in the way, but the regular one is silver foiled up here, including the Image logo. And so this is a Image newsstand, which might or might not mean anything as far as value is concerned, but rarity certainly, because Image and Valiant, especially at that point when they started, didn't use newsstands an awful lot. Newsstands were already on the downward trend, and certainly when they were starting up, they didn't really put a lot of resources into doing it since it was a dying thing at that point. Psylord's number 1, little chromium reach around goodness. So these Valiant 1s or 0s, you'll see me collect a lot of. I'll pick them up if they're like $1. Felix, thank you, Felix. Smash that like button if you haven't already, for sure. All right, got that. We got Nighthawk number 3. And in talking about Image newsstands, we've got a Wildcats number 3 newsstand. So I've already got those, but like I said, if I find them, I'll pick them up on the cheap. Now, I was probably not going to keep this, but I thought this was interesting. This is Superman 709 from 2011, and it is a newsstand. So definitely right there at the end of the newsstand era. Boy, holding the line at $2.99, just not long enough. The Flash gets grounded. Know some people that collect late newsstands. Gonna see about hooking them up. Ninjak #1, again, one of those chromium goodies from Valiant. And what would be a big, giant, Valiant haul without a Turok #1? Certainly the most valuable book that I picked up today. Said nobody ever. Okay, so this is Turok #1, no stranger to fame, right there. Why not have 2 Turok #1s? Because I already have 20-something of them. And I'm trying to corner the market on Turok 1. Maybe I can create scarcity so that people go, oh my goodness, I've destroyed all these Turok 1s. Natural attrition happened to these Turok 1s. What happened to them? We want some. And I'll go, you Turok 1, you can have one for a low price of $1 million. Maybe, I don't know, probably not. Yes, Bart Sears, awesome artwork. So Nick's Kicks and Comics. I don't know if you saw, but I got Bart Sears to do a sketch cover for me, an Exo Manowar sketch cover for me a couple of months ago. It came in and showed it off then. So I don't know if you had seen that or not. But then we got Sliders, Darkest Hour 3 of 3. And then we've got Sliders Ultimatum, #1 of 2. All right, so we got that. I'm looking for that. Yeah, Bart Sears, he does commissions. They're not cheap, but they're not as expensive as I've seen some. But and it might be just for what I asked him for, right? So depending on what you ask for as to what it costs and all that kind of good stuff. So the next stop that I went to today was to Creamer Cash and Comics. So Amber over at Creamer Cash and Comics used to be in Ardmore, Alabama, a little bit. Oh yeah, Brutes and Banks. Used to be in Ardmore, Alabama, and she moved, which is north of Huntsville, and moved south to, I think she's on University or right off University, so the main drag, and went and picked this up. So Swamp Thing #2. So now I got #1, as you might have remembered from the Deep. So I got #1 and 2, so I'm caught up there. And she's got a large selection of toys. And I've been working to complete this guy right here, the Merciless figure. So I picked up the Superman Who Laughs. The only one I need now is the Batman Who Laughs with the Hawkman wings, like right here. And then, of course, this is Hawkman Infected. The acetate cover opens up and you have this image right here, and that's the one that has the last pieces. So maybe by the end of this Comic Con I will have that one in tow. Wasn't too hip on the Superman Who Laughs. I guess I could have bought the legs probably off of eBay or something like that. Then so I hung around there chit-chatting, running my mouth, as I am subject to do sometimes, all the time. Then I went to see Haven Comics. So Josh, Haven Comics, you might recognize that name if you're in the area, obviously, but also from Two Brothers Comics. It's one of the shops that they count as their comic shops. Haven Comics is in Huntsville, and one of the two brothers, Nick, is in Huntsville as well. So you remember that I whittled down a good piece of those Batman that I needed to complete the 200 set. Check this out. Batman 258 and Batman 216. So 2 more off the list. I'm in single digits, folks. So we will see if this Expo can finalize that, which probably was the biggest or single biggest goal in collecting this year, was the 200 run, because at the end of last year when I did the video talking about 2021's goals, I was still not complete with the 300s. I only needed a few, but I still needed some. And of course, I still needed at that time 60 something in the 200s. And so now we are down to the deal. Yeah, you found out who I am too late, Batman, just like Alfred did. 15-cent goodness. So, whittling that list on down. Then I also picked up Tmnt Donatello. I had initially passed on these just because some of the, they're all reprints. And I already had, of course, the old Mirage stuff because I have the whole set of the Mirage Tmnt run. But when I couldn't pass up on the Michelangelo, I said, I got to go back and get the other brothers. And Donnie was one that I was able to pick up for cover price today at the Haven. Also picked up Immortal Hulk 38. And this is an homage. This is Alex Ross, of course, but this is an homage to a Superman cover that Neil Adams did back in the day. It's also, I think Alex Ross did a one for Spider-Man not that long ago also. And this is, of course, the Chadwick Boseman memorial cover. And there were several of those that he done. So that's nice. Then he had some dollar bin goodness too. Livewire #1. Harbinger Wars #2. Issue 3. Britannia Lost Eagle. This is issue 1. Pick that up for $1. Bloodshot Salvation #9. I didn't have this particular cover, and it was $1. Couldn't pass it up. Moon Knight Saga. A nice little homage, yes, a little homage to Detective 27. Obviously, there are a lot of similarities between Moon Knight and Batman, and certainly people compare them to each other all the time. And this is kind of just that's Werewolf by Night 33. That's the first Bill Sienkiewicz cover for Moon Knight. That's an early Moon Knight cover. It just talks about Moon Knight and some of the stuff. It's got some of the later Finch work in here, which is nice. I think originally this was a free comic book giveaway, but it was $1. So yeah, because it says free right there. It was $1. So who's going to argue? It was like I said, a Detective 27, another book that I probably will never own. So why not have a little homage and some Moon Knight goodness at the same time? Harbinger Wars #2. Psylords #6. Britannia Lost Eagles of Rome #2. So I literally went through so many books today, and I've still got 2 more days to go because I'm not going to be staying for Sunday of the Expo. But I'm obviously here tomorrow. I'm going to get some of my signatures and such out of the way, and then go long box diving. Maybe give my fingers a little time to heal up. Yeah, I've got a Batman 181. That's the first Poison Ivy, right? Not in the 98. No, 98. Now, I haven't been showing most of these books that I plan on selling. However, I'm going to change that rule for these next few because they were just such good pickups for $1, people. $1. Make you holla. This is New Avengers #15. Little Spider-Woman action there. New Avengers 14. These are just some nice Finch covers for that New Avengers run. That's Apprentice Ewok. What is up? You must have seen me bring out them toy action figures, and you sense the disturbance in the force. But yeah, New Avengers #10, #13. Early Ronin appearance there. This is the big one right here, folks. Right here. #7, the first Illuminati. That's right. Not only a dope cover, but a key. Yes, Finch did kill it. And that was when Bendis could actually write. So not a big fan of Bendis' his later work. New Avengers number 8. Got Incredible Hulk 426. Now, the interesting thing about the Incredible Hulk 426, Bruce is in a straitjacket, and he talks about a ring that can do such and such, and it's a kind of a plug or a stab at the Green Lantern ring in this book. What is going on? Cardboard crazies up in the house. Man, I was watching. Yeah, what's going on, Magic Lasso? Yeah, I was watching your sketching that Venom the other night, and that was super dope, super dope. On that, I was going to try to find it if I could find it fairly quick where he was talking about that, but I don't find it, so it does make for good viewing. All right, so then we've got Azrael number 37. Of course, this is an homage to the breaking of the bat, right? And Batman 400 something. I don't plan on keeping these, but these are just too good to not show off. Introducing Vampire by Night, this first appearance of Vampire by Night, with these amazing fantasies. This particular spider lady right here, Mark Brooks' goodness, but it's also early appearances of her, and got a bunch of them. See, there's 5 and there's 4. So there you go. Then I got Exo Man of War number 5. Already had a copy of it. Didn't have this particular cover. Yes, that is one of them. I thought the same thing when Azrael was introduced. I think it's Gargamel's cat. What's going on, Tyler? Shattered Glass Comic Reviews, a.k.a. Whack Comics. Pulling off all those wacky stunts all the time. Yes, Spider-Woman is cool. Marcella, thank you. Way too late working on that Venom, but look, when it's flowing, it's flowing. You just got to keep it going, right? And that's kind of like when I was in the Second and Charles, which was the last place that I visited today. Now, when I say I visited these stores, that's not counting all the other stores I was toy hunting at, because I went to today I went to 2 Targets, 2 Walmarts, and a GameStop. So I didn't count those in my hunts today, or except for the one I bought something at yesterday, because I stopped at several there on the way up here yesterday. But just the comic stores that I bought stuff at is what I counted. I just came up empty at those other ones. So I went to the Second and Charles. And I'd been to this one before, but as you might know, you're hunting different stuff. People say, hey, I'm looking for this. And so, they didn't tell me that last time, or I didn't know them last time. And so you're looking through stuff. This is really where I messed my fingers up. Literally, I pulled the skin from my fingernail. First world problems, right? Anyway, so I went through every single long box I had. No comic book left behind, right? Well, actually, I left several comic books behind, but I viewed them first. So, always got to get some Jim Lee Wildcats goodness. First Prism cover ever. This is one of those covers that anytime I see it on the cheap, I'm going to pick it up. And this was $1.25. A little on the high side. I'd like to pay $1 less for these. But what do you do? What do you do? No hunts complete without picking up a Turok number 1. Remember, I'm forcing scarcity here. One day, people are going to say, I know where all the Turoks can be found. There is a tome where a man who used to collect Valiants. Oh, sir, there's no such thing as a man who collected Valiants. They were waste paper. That shortage of toilet paper back in the Corona days. They used Valiant Comics for that. No, there was one. A Southern comic geek who collected Turoks for some reason. And certainly you wouldn't want to use a Turok 1, particularly the cover to wipe, because that could be very dangerous. Youch. Yes, the cover collector. Look at that. See, I pulled the cover collector out right there when I said Wildcats. He said, disturbance in the force. Swap for Comics, what's up? Yeah, Turok, man. Turok. That's what's up. That's my boy. Then we got Exo Man of War number 0. Chromium. Dark Domain, or Dominion rather, number 9. This is another one of those Defiant comics that I was looking for. Yeah, that's right. Britannia rather, He Who Are About to Die, number 3. Then we've got Detective Comics. This is the New 52 version of Detective Comics, number 29. Art Thiebaud did some stuff on this, although I thought, no, Jason Fabok did a lot of them. Like he did this cover right here, number 19. That's Jason Fabok right there. Dope looking Batman. Then Detective Comics number 11 right there. And number 28. So knocked 4 off of the New 52 run that I'm working on. Then we got another Wildcats number 2. Hey, I don't know if you knew this or not. I tried to pull you out of the ether when I announced it. I found another one of those things in the wild. So not too long ago, where was I at? And I found one, and I just laughed to myself, because, I collect the Wildcats, not to the extent that you do. I only need a few to finish that run. So I needed that 25 just as well as you did. But you wanted it more. So I'm glad I could hook you up with that. But what goes around comes around. I found another one. And so my collection is now complete, and your collection is now complete. So it works out great. Hey, it might be, they made 1 billion spawns, and somehow there's still some desire for that book. Then we've got Incredible Hulk 602. There. Warriors of Plasm, home for the holidays. Warriors of Plasm was the main or title book, for Defiant Comics. And so I actually seen this, oddly enough, on a YouTube auction not that long ago. You just don't see Defiant Comics because, who's buying Defiant Comics except me, right? And so I saw that. I almost bought it, but they were wanting way too much for it. And so I passed on it, and I found it today for $3 buckaroos. $3 buckaroos. So definitely was one. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. Warrior 1 through 3. I only need the last issue, which is 12 or 13. So yeah, I've got the old ones there. Oh yeah, all these blind bags. Yeah, all these blind bags. I do what I used to do on those old ones, and look to the side to try to see which ones I got. Yeah, but it's just it goes in spurts. Like I found a lot of Defiant Comics. They must have been popular up here, but not so much down further south. So kind of strange. You go to all these different places like I do, the states that I do, and go to the various comic stores and whatever, and you can kind of see trends where things seem to have been more popular in one place than the other. Kind of an interesting deal. Detective Comics 875. And it seems to me like there was something to this, and I was too lazy to, I'll have to pull the Key Collector app up or something, but it seems like there was something to this one. Fallen Sun, The Death of Captain America. I know this is a Michael Turner cover, and this is Avengers So nice little Spider-Woman cover, if nothing else, but it seems like there's something like a first appearance or something on that. I got Black Panther, World of Wakanda. This is a Simone Bianchi cover, and it's a #1, and it's Black Panther. This is a fried pie variant. That's Books A Million and Second and Charles. They do those, or they did those. I don't know if they do them anymore. So, and typically you go to these Second and Charleses, you find a bunch of these still in the poly bags like this. And I guess people just really don't like them overall. But with it being Black Panther, I just got it. Don't plan on keeping it. I'm probably going to sell it. Divinity #2, issue #4. Matt Kent, who's currently writing ENIAC, and some really dope artwork there on the cover. So Divinity was valiant when they rebooted effort to get Dr. Solar, because Dr. Solar was a key part of the Valiant universe back in the day. But when Valiant, went bankrupt, and Gold Key actually owns those, Solar, Magnus, and Turok, and they did not get those. So they had to come up with their own character. So Divinity was designed to replace Dr. Solar. Savage is designed to replace Turok. They never made nobody to replace Magnus for whatever reason. Hidden Gem Comics up in the house. Thanks for showing up, man. So another one for the PC. Found a bunch of these Wizard half editions, which are always fun. Let's see here. Dogs of War #5, little Defiant comic. Ooh. This is a neat one. So I've been trying to finish my Pit run. And I've found Pit #10. So Pit didn't go for very many issues. But these latter issues are super hard to find out in the wild. I'm sure you can go on eBay and find just about anything on eBay. But just to find it out there in the wild and for $2, couldn't pass it up. Fallen World #5. Just thought it was a dope cover. Already had a copy of it. Dr. Tomorrow #1. Found this one, I think, for Steven Spock, Reflection. Harbinger Wars #1. I believe this is a connecting cover there. Wildcats, and no more Wildcats goodie. #2, the source book. I've really never think I've ever seen the source book #2. I've always seen the silver, foil of issue 1. I don't think I've ever remember seeing issue 2 out there in the wild till today. We got Wildcats #2, Prismy Goodness. The Good Guys #6, another Defiant title. Another GSX1 homage, X-Cons, the unfunny X-Cons #1. Rehashed, Deadly Dullness. So there you go for $1. Ivar the Time Walker #4, and for whatever reason had #3 in there too. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's various people that they got in their sites. I've read this story before. It's pretty wacky and interesting. And that one's right there is Hitler, which is a good person to have in your sights if you're going to shoot somebody. And you're back in time. It doesn't really matter now, right? There's an alien spacecraft, a Sphinx. So a couple of those stuff. Mark the Cuddy Shark, what is up? But I have a couple of other issues. Yeah, there was a couple of other ones that they had there, but I was only really getting it for the GSX1 homage, so I wasn't really interested in collecting those right there. Yes, Tell me what's up with that one, because that's one of the ones I found today, if you know. Unity number 18. Mr. Garrow, hello there. And this was pretty cool. I already had one of these. This is Exo Man of War number 50 from Volume 3, the Robert Venditti run, which I would recommend to anybody who has never even read Exo. You can pick up with issue 1 and go with it. Great character development. Yeah, you must have, I guess. Trying to figure out what the deal was with that, because it seems like I've seen that in Key Collector. There is an X-Farce one that has Cable and the other X-Force. So instead of X-Force, it's X-Farce. Yeah. So the neat thing about this particular version, this cover, this is the cover. If you saw my AOK video that I dropped the other day, Daymare's another awesome member of the community, AOK'd me a art piece, and it is this cover right here, which this cover is going to wrap around. But you can see here that this is that same cover. So that was pretty cool. And for $1 on top of it, man, can't beat it with a stick. Yup. Found this right here, Eternal Warrior number 1. And this is really where I'm going to try to get Rags Morales. I reached out to him. Rags Morales did some early work for Turok for Valiant. He also done one of the Crisis, Identity Crisis maybe, for DC a few years ago. But this is what I'm going to try to get him to essentially do, is the rebooted version of Eternal Warrior, where you have the battle axe. And this is kind of where I'm getting my inspiration from, is kind of this stance, you know, this. And I found this cover out in the wild for $1.25. Ninjak number 3. Looks like it's a connecting cover. A lot of little blood platelets going everywhere. So Fallen Sun, Death of Cap number 3 is the first cover of Clint Barton and Kate Bishop and their first meeting. Oh, nice. So I did have this particular cover for Exo Man of War number 44. Or this one for Bloodshot Reborn. This is a Miko Sion cover there. Did not have Imperium number 9. And then just what the doctor ordered, not really, but Shadow Man number 0, another Chromium goodie that I always pick up when I can on the cheap. So let's check this out right here, because an inquiring mind wants to know, at least my inquiring mind wants to know. I don't know if nobody else is. So, okay, somebody messaging me about wanting a certain comic. Let's see here. Fallen Sun. There we go. Okay, yeah, that's number 3. I don't know where I've seen that one before. I don't know. It's a dope cover, dope Spider-Woman cover. I bet you Gary B, the casual comic guy, probably already has it, but that Spider-Woman's gone third. It's gone third. Have to love the shine, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So, thanks to the 11 of you that are still hanging out here at the end of this. So, if you're not following me over on Instagram, be sure to follow me over on Instagram, where I can bug you even more and go live. Because at this point, somehow I can't go live on YouTube, or I haven't figured it out. Too lazy to figure it out, probably. I don't know. But usually that's something after you get 1,000 subscribers you're able to do. But I don't know if that's something that you have to apply for, or I'm just not doing something right, or whatever. So the easiest thing for me to do is just go live over on Instagram and then download it later to go over on YouTube. So that's the way I guess we'll do it for now. So I'm probably going to go live several times throughout tomorrow and Saturday. There's supposed to be a lot of various members of the YouTube comic book community here. And so plan on meeting up with them, maybe go grab a bite to eat or something like that. Yes, it is a pretty hefty thing of comics. And so I've got to put them all in CLZ and all rebag them. And put them in some nice, fresh, clean baggies. But hoping to get a lot more before the week is out. So we'll see how that pans out. But so be sure to follow me over on Instagram if you're not already. Also, be sure to be subscribed to the channel. If you're watching this on the rewind, I don't imagine anybody that's watching this live is not already subscribed to the channel. But hit that bell notification so you don't miss anything when it drops. And I go live. You'll be one of the first people to know because it's ever so random. And also notice that join button. Do not feel any obligation, obviously, to hit the join button. But if you do, there are some perks to doing that. There is also a Patreon account. Both those links are in the description below. But if you're watching this on a computer, you'll see the join button. So the join button, the perks, obviously, you're entered into monthly giveaways on that. You get emojis and all that kind of good stuff inside the chats. But so that's more a live benefit. And then the Patreon stuff is if you buy a lot of books from me. If you buy a lot of books from me, you probably see more value over on the Patreon side. But, that's kind of how I separate them as thus far. And we'll see how it goes. But if nothing else, be sure to smash that like button. Tell your friends. Tell the people you don't like about it. So it's interesting that I have got a video that's fixing to cross over 1,000 subscribers, and it's a short. I don't know if any of you have been watching these shorts, not necessarily mine, just anybody's, but this is YouTube's way of dealing with TikTok. And so it has to be 45 seconds, I believe, or shorter. Hence the name, shorts. And for you to be able to put that hashtag shorts in the title. But I did one for Easter. Interestingly enough, I got some messages I had to delete, and okay, right. But I've got 963 views, so I have got more views on this short that I did on Easter, this past Sunday, than I've gotten on everybody. Now it's not. Less than 60 seconds. Gotcha. Gotcha. So if you're putting any kind of add-on or something like that, you got to watch what the time of the video is to not push it over if you do any add-ons. Got it. Yeah, I did. So, what do you do? Not those kind of shorts, though. Not those kind of shorts. No reason. Just thought I'd say that. Yeah, just saying. So yeah, more views on a short than I've got on any video that I've ever done, including my CGC rants, which are the more popular videos. Who knows? The YouTube algorithm, and it's interesting, and I'm just kind of that nerd, but to kind of look at the analytics of it. But a lot of younger girls watch the short than they watch my other stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it's not an older bald guy in there. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Maybe I go back to the no faces chat, and then you ain't got to worry about it. Yes, anyone can do a short, including you, Mr. Garrow. You can do a little short, and you just got to open that package a little quicker. Yeah, pushing like crazy. Well, the funny thing is, though, as far as making money on the shorts, you really don't. As far as ad revenue, once you're monetized, or at least that has with me. Now, in theory, if they're pushing you to that, and then you see another video on the channel that they watch, you make up for it there through traffic. But that particular video, not so much. Yeah, they are. but it does pull down your stats because how many people watch you that are returning people as opposed to new people, and how many people play through a certain length of time as opposed to clicking off. It can pull your stats down. So to me, I see positives and a lot more negatives about it, but we'll see. I'm going to throw a few out there. Yeah, it is YouTube's reaction to TikTok. They want to keep themselves relevant, which any business should want to try to do. But yeah, that is what they're doing. It is interesting to kind of see all the analytics, or at least it is to a nerd like me, to see what's what. Because you do videos, and most of my videos are cathartic at best. Or cathartic, rather cathartic. It's just me showing my stuff, to somebody out there in the YouTube land who might or might not care. That's really most of my videos. I don't do the spec videos a lot, like some channels do. And I don't do a lot of editing, if any. So it's just me. And, but it is interesting to see what people like, versus something else. Vincent McLean, the Comic Machine, what is up? YouTube needs to change the stats and money if they want people to do them more. Yeah. Well, there's only so many pennies in a dollar, right? And YouTube's certainly going to have theirs too. What did I pick up? BK, you might want to catch that on the rewind because it was quite the stack. I did pick up some Star Wars stuff though. Not the stuff that you were just asking me about, but I did pick up Princess Leia number 3. This is the Phil Noto cover. I picked up a couple of those, and I didn't really pick up a lot more Star Wars stuff. I almost picked up some Star Wars Legacy stuff, and then I ended up putting it back. House on the Lake 1, new from Tiny, and sounds interesting. Well, and he's been doing a good job. So, he's starting to get to the point to where, you feel like you need to give him a shot, or give it a shot. If it's trash, you can, quit picking it up, but give it a shot just based on his name. And that's what all the artists and writers are trying to do, is make a name for themselves to that point. Kind of like Kate's, that people say, well, hey, Kate's is hit after hit. Eventually he's going to have a miss. Now his longevity is going to depend on how he bounces back from that when that miss happens. I don't know if that, crossover is okay, but it just seems to me like it's like by now it's like who cares. It just seems that the story's kind of dragged on longer than what it should have, but who knows, maybe it'll end with a bang. He threw a little God Country in there, which I'm a fan of. And so maybe the story will heat back up. Well, folks, it's going to be a wild weekend. Be sure to hit those bell notifications so you don't miss anything. Check out those join options and or Patreon options if you would like. I haven't seen it yet, so it doesn't start till tomorrow. I'm here early. All the stuff I picked up was all from local comic shops around here that I picked up while I was up in town. And hey, Mr. Garrow, you saw that Star Wars, right? You saw that Star Wars, huh? So I'm going to show Mr. Garrow how it's done, because he promised that if I came to that Cowtown, which is happening now in July, that he was going to be there. So we're going to see if he's a man of his word. Traveling Root Beer, what is up? Sparks' interview. Oh, okay. Hey, Patrick Walls calling you out. Mr. G, what's up? But yeah, so last year, of course, this was in the middle of the pandemic. This was the biggest con that happened in the Southeast, and it was fantastic. Everything was well spaced out and all that kind of good stuff. There was enough vendors. There was a lot of hunger in the vendors, so they were willing to listen to deals and make deals. I did not get too many big books. I picked up Moon Knight's third appearance in Werewolf by Night 37, and I picked up the first Jason Todd Killer Croc appearance. But I did that was about it, if I recall. So the main things that I picked up were a lot of books, filler books. I did a lot of my filler runs for Batman at that time. And how many books did you already pick up? Just got home from work. Look, catch on the rewind, man. But I probably got 75 to 100 books already. And that's just the stuff that's going in the PC. I bought some stuff to sell, but I didn't even go over that stuff on the video. How many books? Let's see, 37 going up. Oh, okay. Yeah, holy crap! I didn't find one for you though. I think it's one that you need. I got to recheck your list, and if you don't, I'll take it. So it's no big deal. For that detective run, TK's Batcave, man, you missed all the Batman goodies I was showing earlier, man. I was supposed to be talking Batman with somebody, but he's got this big job. He's a big time guy now. I didn't even know you were on YouTube anymore. Legit. I thought you were running so big with your job now. Of course, I'm just teasing you, but yeah, we got to get together and talk some Batman. Man. Make it happen. But I am down into the single digits, needing to finish my 200 run. And then at that point, I'm going to kind of evaluate things as to how far do I want to go? How far do I want to go? he said, TK, I thought Bane had broke your back. He watches from time to time. Yeah. So what are you saying? TK's broke back? Pause. No, seriously. Hey, it goes in spurts, right? Some ever so often we have to take a step back, kind of see what we're doing, and then life happens, right? Unless you're a big YouTuber, a real big YouTuber. I won't call any name. So unless you're a big YouTuber, you're not getting rich off of video monetization or anything. So you get your day job, right? And then you got life, family, kids, all that kind of good stuff. And things got to take priority. So we understand it's all rib and good fun. But I'm gonna take a step back and evaluate my Batman at that point to see if I want to go and fill the 100s. The 100s, I don't believe, just off the cuff, are going to be that hard to complete. I already have several. The big one that I'm missing is Mr. Freeze. It was one of the ones I could have picked up last year, and I chose not to because I didn't see the value in spending that much money on that book at that time. Hindsight's always 2020. Certainly would have been a better investment had I got it last year as opposed to now, or when I get around to getting it. So that's the biggest book that I'm missing out of that 100s run. I don't think there's another one that's really big because I'm not a guy that's got to be, it's got to be a 6.0 or higher for me to worry about it. No, I mean, if it's a 2.5, as long as it presents well, I'm okay when you're talking about Golden Age books, especially. And so that's what you're talking about with those Batmans in the 100s. So I'm going to evaluate it at that point and see if I want to continue down that rabbit hole. Because I really don't know if I want to, because that's going to be that goal that's never going to happen. I say that, I've completed big runs before, but I guess Batman would be the biggest. You're talking about 713 issues from Volume 1. Of course, I've got all of Volume 2 and 3, the New 52 and the current run. But that's a huge run. I mean, Batman 1 alone. I mean, I have issue 8 and number 10 and number 13. So, I mean, I've got several of the early books, but there's some big books, just one alone. Wow. What's the Batman versus Detective pro debate? The real reason why I went for Batman over Detective, if that's what you're asking, I hope it is, because this is the ramble I'm going to go on. The real thing with Batman was that's what I read when I was younger, was Batman, and that was what I was more interested in. To be honest, Detective is really the more solid title, whereas Batman, depending on the writer, can do this little number right here, i.e. Tom King's run, right? It's been that way over the years, but Detective's been pretty solid for a long time. Detective has a lot of first appearances, just like Batman does. Martian Manhunter's first appearances is in Detective, and a lot of other ones that people just don't normally think about. Batgirl's first appearances in Detective. And so there's a lot of big books there too. Obviously, the big one, 27, or even was it 31 or 32 that Neil Adams later homaged with the Mad Monk type deal. Yeah, I like to be able to set a goal like that with the end in mind. And since I'm completionist, I don't know what I was thinking with Batman. Maybe to have 100 to 713. Yeah, if I could segregate it like that and say, okay, this is complete to me. 500 to 700 is complete, like you're filling in 500 to 700. For whatever reason, you like the storylines, you grew up on those storylines. 5 to 700, if that's complete to you, then that's great. And if I can do that with Batman, then that would be great. I can say, okay, 100 to 713 or 200 to 713, that's what I want. If I get anything else, if it comes up, the right deal falls into place, I'll take it. But I'm not going to devote the amount of time and resources to this one title as opposed to other things. It's one of the reasons why I don't chase 9/8s. I don't collect grades. I collect books. If they're high grades, that's fine. But I much rather have 3 books at a mid grade than 1 book at a high grade. It's just the way I am. And so, recently read Batwoman's first Detective run and loved it. Yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah, there you go. The Golden Age appearances, right? Because the first Silver Age Riddler is in Batman as well as Scarecrow's. Cheap, easy, and good reading. Yeah, they are cheap. Those are generally cheap. Really, you could go to the end of Detective. There's only a couple of books like the Jock Joker cover that gets expensive. But the latter run of Detective, if you go, what is it in, 881 or 82? It's really not that bad. And there's some killer art. Simone Bianchi and then Jock did a good job on that. Yeah. So scratch the rust off my mind and tell me what is in World's Finest number 3. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And Dixon was supposed to have been at a con in Lafayette, Louisiana last year. And Lafayette's only 3 hours from my house. And I was going to go there, bought tickets, and 2 days later they canceled it. I got my money back, but I was like, because I had the first appearance of Bane that I planned on getting signed. And just wasn't meant to be. I mean, that was literally the week they shut down everything. It's like, could you have not waited 1 more week, Corona? Come on. So yeah, and everybody's got their run that they liked. Usually it comes from nostalgic reasons, runs that you were familiar with as a kid. But yeah, so that's kind of your deal there. I know that Stanibles is putting together. I think he's got all of 600 and 700 now. But he's trying to put together that run, which he's fortunate enough. He's got the first, you hear that? First Martian Manhunter that he won, I believe, out of a Spider-Man booth box. First Scarecrow. Superman, Batman, and Robin on the baseball cover. Oh, okay, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, that's yeah, some of those World's Finest or the Batman Golden Age, they got some really cheesy covers, but it's kind of a, when I read it, some people would read stuff like that. Even when you get into the 1960s and reading X-Men, early X-Men, you can kind of get this too. But I read it and I like it because it's kind of a sign of the times is there. I like reading the ads as much as anything else. Some people get offended. Of course, some people get offended about anything. But some people get offended. It's like, oh, you can't talk to people like that no more. Well, look, it was a block in time, Yeah, you don't do it no more, but that's what it was back then. It was just interesting. So there you go. Stanville says that is correct. I've only been to one con, my local, and then Corona, so no cons with international guests as we closed out. Yeah. That sucks. Let's see. And yeah, Stanimals is another good channel. I think he's closing in on 500 himself. So what I'm afraid of as CGC, of course, they're overloading themselves, but CGC pushes more people or gets more people to go to these signature signings. How many more big folks are going to come to the cons anymore when they can sit there at CGC and just sign away? Maybe it's a new trend. Maybe it doesn't set a trend. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully they're as itchy as we all are to see them. They are to get out and not only make some money, but see the fan base. Because unless they get the big head, really the fan base drives them. I know that they do it for a paycheck just like everybody else. But, when you kind of get down on yourself or your sales are slow and that type of thing, you go back to the fan base and they pump you up and remind you that, hey, people are watching. Let's see. Wonder what was the 10. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I hope you're right. And I hope that other cons will look to Huntsville and say, hey, Jim Shooter and all these big names are here. And they're not new names like Donnie Cates or something like that, but these are people that people know. Generally, Chris Claremont likes coming to all these in the South. He'll go to Memphis. Might be in Memphis this year. I don't know, but he was here last year. He was basically the only comic creator here last year. Michael Golden's going to be here. Rags Morales. Sam De La Rosa is supposed to be here. I hope he did not cancel. Yeah, so he's more known for his Venom #1, Venom Lethal Protector. I've got the Web of Spider-Man hologram cover that I'm going to get him to do a remark sketch on if he is here. Originally, he's on the slot to be here, but then I haven't seen nothing about him lately. So hoping that they'll look at that and they'll say, hey, look at the turnout we had. We can do things and be right and all that kind of good stuff. Very nice. 8x10 photographs of Jim Lee. Sign them. Oh, cool. That's cool. So Jim Lee is now supposed to be the Kevin Feige of DC. Who knows if it pans out? Especially especially since they're in this whole omniverse thing, whereas in their comics, let alone their movies. So we'll see if that matters. Whereas MCU kind of has a little more continuity, a little more flow with it. So anyway, well, guys and gals, we are at an hour and 20, and I kept trying to stop earlier, and somebody asked a question or something. So appreciate everybody for hanging out. Be sure to smash that like button if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification for future notifications. Be looking out on the Instagram and then later the YouTubes for content regarding the con tomorrow and Saturday. And until next time, keep reading and keep collecting, folks. Adios.